Have you ever seen insane supercars abandoned in the woods? Or a Lamborghini left in a rundown garage on the outskirts of Russia? I've gathered the most incredible cars that were accidentally discovered. But the craziest find is saved for last, so stick around to see it. Let's start with Russia. A Honda NSX, found in a wooded area near St. Petersburg, became a real mystery for the automotive community. Why? It was believed that the supercar had been abandoned and gradually destroyed by nature, but in reality, it was on private property all along, just without a fence. In 2017, forest rangers stumbled upon the car, and only then, thanks to the internet community, was its origin uncovered. And do you know what happened to it? The story of this car began in 2005, when it was brought to Russia from Germany. The plan was ambitious to turn the NSX into a monster with a 1,000 horsepower engine. But what went wrong? The project was halted halfway due to financial disagreements between the executors and the client, and it was returned to the owner without an engine. The NSX stood in the woods for many years until it was accidentally discovered and gained widespread attention in automotive media. After that, the car was purchased with the intent of real restoration. Now, if everything went according to plan, this iconic supercar has not only been brought back to life, but may have even become a gem in someone's collection. But that's just a teaser, because next, we'll look at real supercars with similar fates. Remember I mentioned garages? Finding a Lamborghini Murcielago LP640 in an unexpected place, specifically an old garage on the outskirts of Moscow, is almost fantastical because it's like different worlds colliding. Among the simple garages where locals discuss soccer and fix old cars, suddenly discovering a car that could star in a Hollywood blockbuster is unbelievable. And this car's value is probably equal to that of the entire garage complex. Considering the car is damaged, it's likely it was involved in an accident, and the owner decided not to repair it, probably because it was too expensive. Keeping it in the garage is better than leaving it out on the street, right? The Murcielago LP640 is a true supercar equipped with a powerful 6.5-liter V12 engine that delivers 640 horsepower. It can accelerate to 60 miles per hour in just 3.5 seconds, with a top speed of 212 miles per hour. Nowadays, this car can be worth over $275,000 in Europe, making it a highly desirable candidate for restoration. Hopefully, someone will take care of it. Here's another strange discovery. The Bugatti Type 57S isn't just a car, it's a legend in the world of automotive engineering, a symbol of luxury and exclusivity. This model, produced in only 17 examples, was custom-made for a famous racer and founder of a motorsport enthusiasts club. With a power output of 175 horsepower, the Bugatti Type 57S was the pinnacle of engineering excellence in its time. One of the owners of this rare car was Earl Howe, who drove it for 18 years, showcasing its capabilities at numerous events and competitions. After him, the Bugatti passed to Dr. Harold Carr in the United Kingdom, who, unlike its previous owner, decided to keep the car in his garage. Since then, the car remained hidden from public view until Dr. Carr's death in 2007. After his death, the Bugatti Type 57S was discovered and put up for auction, where it sold for an astronomical sum of £3 million. This sale not only highlighted the exceptional value of the car, but also confirmed the Type 57S's status as one of the most sought-after and rare collectible cars in the world. The Rolls-Royce Phantom Centurion is not just a car, it's the embodiment of luxury and exclusivity. But what happened to it? In 2007, amidst the shimmering lights of Las Vegas, the Centurion found its first owner for $550,000. Quite a sum. But just a year later, it appeared on eBay and sold for $300,000. The situation took an even more dramatic turn in 2008 when the crisis hit. During this time, the Centurion ended up in St. Petersburg, far from its former glory. Abandoned on railroad tracks, stripped of its wings, headlights, wheels, and taillights, this Rolls-Royce, despite its sad state, still carried echoes of its past magnificence. At some point, it simply disappeared, rumored to have been taken for parts. Even $500,000 seems like nothing compared to what awaits you at the end. Aristotle Onassis, known for his wealthy and playboy lifestyle before marrying Jackie Kennedy, acquired one of the most iconic cars of the time in 1969, the Lamborghini Miura P400S. This car not only symbolized the dynamic lifestyle of those years, but was also one of the leading design examples by Bertone. First unveiled at the Geneva Motor Show in 1966, the Miura was a true work of art on wheels, capable of turning heads on the streets of New York, London, or Paris. Its 3.9-liter 12-cylinder engine, mounted transversely, delivered around 375 horsepower, making the Miura not only beautiful but also extremely powerful. Additionally, the car was equipped with several enhancements, including electric windows and an optional air conditioner, a necessity in warm climates. Unique details such as metal air vents, a passenger grab handle, a gear lever, electric window switches, and an ignition lock were crafted with high skill. Even the steering wheel featured custom engraving, and the famous eyelashes around the headlights were also made of metal. However, with the passing of an era, this car remained abandoned in a closed Hilton hotel in Athens. The discovery made in a castle near Brussels resembles a scene from a detective novel. The large red brick building, which had long belonged to a local millionaire who moved to the United States and never returned, had been abandoned for nearly half a century. When the property rights expired, local authorities broke into the castle, and what they found inside became a true treasure for vintage car enthusiasts. In the castle's basement, they discovered a dozen rare Alfa Romeo cars dating back to the 1950s and 1960s. These cars, once symbols of elegance and speed, had fallen into a state of disrepair due to the effects of dampness and temperature fluctuations over the years. While they weren't subjected to the destructive effects of the open sky, time had still left its indelible mark on them. Despite their condition, these cars still hold great value for collectors and historians. Several European vintage car museums have already expressed interest in purchasing and restoring these unique vehicles. For them, these aren't just old cars, they're living history that can be revived and preserved for future generations. The story of the Ferrari F40 that belonged to Uday Hussein is shrouded in myths and real events, making it almost legendary. This supercar, produced in a limited series and one of the fastest cars of its time, found itself at the center of numerous twists and turns after the fall of the Hussein regime. After Saddam Hussein's son Uday lost control of the country and his collection, the F40 was found and temporarily attempted to be restored in Turkey. However, due to its provocative past, the car became undesirable for many, including those involved in its restoration. The owner, who retrieved the car after the incident in Turkey, tried to sell it, but the transaction stalled due to documentation issues and the seller's desire to remain anonymous. The price of the car, after partial restoration in Iraq, rose to $1,150,000. This price hike likely reflected both the car's uniqueness and its complicated history. However, logistical difficulties and the high costs of complete restoration deterred potential buyers. The situation was further complicated by Ragat Hussein, Uday's sister, who threatened legal action against anyone attempting to acquire her family's property. This added legal uncertainty to the already complex story of the car. Currently, the F40 is in a safer location, awaiting resolution of the legal and financial issues. The story of this Ferrari F40 is a vivid example of how historical and political events can impact the fate of even such rare and valuable objects as supercars. Continuing with the same brand, the Ferrari Dino 246 GTS is one of the most sought-after models among classic car collectors. Named after Enzo Ferrari's son, Dino, this model embodies the style and an innovation of Italian automotive engineering in the 1970s. Luigi Chinetti, a close friend of the famous Italian racer and Ferrari dealer in the United States, was known for his passion for exclusive cars. His collection included several remarkable models, among them a 1974 Ferrari Dino 246 GTS, alongside a 1972 Ferrari Daytona. These cars remained unnoticed by the public for many years, stored in Cinetti's barn. Over time, Interest in such rare and valuable cars has only grown. The Dyno 246 GTS, thanks to its preservation, stands out among others. This model, equipped with a V6 engine and known for its excellent performance and beautiful design, remains a symbol of its era. Although the Dyno 246 GTS required some repairs, its value and restoration potential make it a desirable object for serious collectors and automotive history enthusiasts. The opportunity to restore such a car to its original glory is a dream for many, and considering its historical and cultural significance, any investment in its repair and preservation can be well worth it in the future. The story of the Ferrari Enzo abandoned in Dubai is a tale of grandeur and tragedy. Why? The Ferrari Enzo, produced in only 400 examples, is one of the most exclusive and sought-after models in the world, with a V12 engine producing 651 horsepower and the ability to accelerate to 60 miles per hour in just 3.14 seconds. The Enzo is truly a masterpiece of automotive art. One of these rare cars found itself at the center of a legal scandal. The car's owner, an expatriate living in Dubai, encountered severe financial troubles, resulting in accumulated fines totaling $30,000 due to Dubai's strict laws, where failure to pay debts can lead to imprisonment. The owner was forced to abandon his valuable car in a parking lot and leave the country. The Ferrari Enzo sat in the parking lot under the scorching Middle Eastern sun for about 20 months, which inevitably affected its condition. Recently, the car was moved to a warehouse for safe storage to prevent further deterioration. Currently, several parties are claiming the car, and its fate remains uncertain. What about the largest abandoned car graveyard? Old Car City in Georgia has transformed from a simple auto parts store into the world's largest open-air museum of vintage cars. This unique collection began in the 1970s when its founder, the owner of a used auto parts store, decided that old cars deserved a better fate than just being dismantled for parts. He started buying them by the dozens and brought them to a huge plot of land 50 miles from Atlanta. Left to the elements with no maintenance, many of these cars began to decay, with bushes and trees growing through them, creating picturesque yet melancholic landscapes. Over 20 years, the founder amassed over 4,500 cars, most of which were manufactured before 1972. After the founder's death, the collection was inherited by his son. The heir decided not only to preserve this legacy, but also to turn it into a profitable business. Old Car City now operates as an open-air museum, attracting tourists and automotive history enthusiasts from around the world. Visitors can explore this unusual museum, where the history of car manufacturing is presented in the most unexpected way. Entry to the museum costs $25, allowing everyone to immerse themselves in the atmosphere of the past and see how nature slowly but surely reclaims the cars. The situation with abandoned cars in Dubai reflects the unique socio-cultural and economic aspects of life in this rapidly developing region. Dubai, known for its wealth and luxury, is also a place where strict laws and high financial standards can quickly lead to financial ruin. Many expatriates who come here for high salaries and a luxurious lifestyle sometimes find themselves unable to manage their debts or face legal issues. In Dubai, failure to pay debts can result in criminal charges, forcing some people to abandon everything and flee the country, leaving behind expensive cars. These vehicles often end up in special car graveyards, which serve as storage for abandoned luxury. Among the dust-covered and abandoned Bentley, Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Rolls-Royce cars, you can find documents detailing unpaid loans and even apology notes left by their former owners. It's quite eerie, isn't it? Oranjemund, located in Namibia, is a unique town with special living and working conditions. This town is entirely owned by Namdeb, a joint venture between the government of Namibia and the diamond corporation De Beers. It was created specifically to serve the needs of the diamond mining industry, as enormous diamond deposits have been discovered in the area near the mouth of the Orange River. The security measures in Oranjemund are impressive. The perimeter of the town is guarded by armed security, and any attempt to illegally possess diamonds can lead to up to 15 years in prison. These measures are taken to prevent illegal diamond trading, which could harm both the company and the country's economy. One of the most unusual features of Oranjemund is its car graveyard, considered one of the largest in the world. An interesting fact is that once cars enter the town, they never leave. This rule was introduced to prevent the smuggling of diamonds out of the area. The graveyard contains vehicles over a century old, including rusting cars from the 1920s, and even World War II tanks that were used for leveling sand dunes. This car graveyard has become a sort of open-air museum, preserving the stories of old vehicles and testifying to the strict security measures in place to protect valuable diamond resources. Auto Salvage truly stands out among similar sites. Located as a repository for vehicles that have undergone crash tests by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety (IAS), it offers a unique opportunity for car enthusiasts and mechanics after undergoing safety tests. Many cars are written off due to significant damage. However, despite the exterior damage, many components of these cars remain in working condition and can be used as spare parts. This makes Auto Salvage a valuable resource for those looking for quality parts at lower prices. Interest in this salvage yard is particularly high among those involved in car repair or restoration. Here, one can find almost new parts, as well as used components that are hard or expensive to acquire through regular channels. Access to such a variety of parts, ranging from inexpensive to exclusive, makes Auto Salvage a true treasure trove for specific car restoration needs. The discovery of several dozen Soviet sedans, Gaz-21 and Moskvich on the outskirts of Mecca, is another surprising find, raising many questions among car enthusiasts and historians. These cars, painted in a uniform light blue color and in incomplete condition, most of them missing their engines, add an air of mystery to this unusual story. The Soviet Union and Saudi Arabia had a complex historical relationship, starting from 1938, when diplomatic ties were suspended, until 1991, when the USSR ceased to exist. This makes the appearance of Soviet cars near Mecca even more intriguing. One possible explanation for this find is that these cars were brought to the Arabian Peninsula by automotive enthusiasts in the post-Soviet period. This hypothesis is supported by the presence of a rare BMW 1600 sedan and several classic American cars from the 1950s at the same car graveyard. Such a collection suggests that the site might have been used as a kind of haven for vintage cars, possibly as part of a private collection or a restoration project that was never completed. In Belgium, a country with a rich history and many mysteries, there is one particularly enigmatic place, the car graveyard near Chatelain. This site is unique not only for its secluded location deep in the forest, but also for the story of its origin, shrouded in legends and conjecture. According to local lore, after the end of World War II, American servicemen stationed in the area used this part of the forest to store trophy cars. The inability to transport them back across the Atlantic to the United States without using military transport meant the cars were left here. Plans to eventually send them home never materialized for unknown reasons. Initially, there might have been up to 500 cars here, but over time, the number has dwindled to around 150. These cars, many of which are vintage and rare, have rusted over the years, with some even becoming overgrown with plants, giving the place a special, almost post-apocalyptic appearance. Today, this site attracts not only historians and car enthusiasts, but also tourists eager to touch a piece of history frozen in these old vehicles. That's all for now, friends. And remember, if you haven't subscribed, you're missing out on all the good stuff.